I had paused the recording while waiting for the others to come. But I want the recording to run so that it becomes part of the video. Somebody, when
Yes,
you look at it,
it
yeah?
is also valuable.
Yes, it is also valuable. So
Mm.
when you look at, okay, I'll repeat what I just said, just for the video part of it. Okay, so when your question is when you saw the show Shark Tank, or when you look at the show Dragon's Den, uh, how real is their investment? Like how is it? Are they angel investors, or are they some other kind of investors? That is your question, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm.
So angel investors are mostly the kind of people who put their money in and don't care about the operations part. They don't care how the business is running, but what they care about is at the end of the day, their money is safe and their profit is coming to them. So this is the
But
role.
but they still share an equity.
Yes, they share an equity, and in most cases, angel investors share the major equity. It's not a small portion. Now, if you look at Dragon's Den or Shark Tank, the sharks or the dragons, they are looking at less than 50% investment, less than 50% in equity, all of the times. They never go they never go above 49 or above 50. They don't go to 51. 51 is off limits for them. Whereas angel investors, they go in and they take 80%, 90% of the business. And the entrepreneur only has uh, 10% or 20%, at best 20% of the business. He only shares 20% of the business. All right. So that is how an angel investor works. Whereas in a Shark Tank or something like that, or even if you look at it, the limited partnerships in our game, we don't get 80% equity. We get a very small equity. We get a very small equity, and we are expected to dispose, sell the equity along with the original entrepreneur. The same case doesn't apply to angel investors. Angel investors keep the entrepreneur. Like, say, if I go to an angel investor, I come to you and ask you for 90% of the money, 90% of the equity I sell to you, and I keep 10% of the equity. You let me run the business. You let the 10% shareholder run the business. Whereas in case of Shark Tank or Dragon's Den, the dragons or the sharks don't run the business. They are the minority shareholders, and they don't run the business. The people who establish the business, they run the business. They run the business, and they are let's say the dragons are actively involved, or the sharks are actively involved in the running of the business, in the operations. So the sharks, they come in with their experience, they come in with their contributions, and they say, okay, this is how we can make this efficient, or this is more acceptable in the market. This packaging needs to change. Your logistics need to improve. Your sourcing needs to come from a cheaper source, or we need better quality in this product. So all those kind of decisions are influenced by the sharks or the dragons. Whereas in case of angel investors, they don't invest that kind of time in the business. They only invest money in the business.
Mm, I see. How about the profit sharing?
In case of
Uh,
angel investors,
how about the profit sharing when Of the business. How about the profit sharing of the business?
Okay.
That's lucky.
When it comes to angel investors, or when it comes to any investment for that matter,
Mm.
your you can have three kinds of you can have three ways of bringing out money from the business. Let's say, have you noticed in the Shark Tank, whenever there is a business that is presented and the entrepreneur or the person with the business concept is speaking about it, the sharks or the dragons, they ask him, have you been taking a salary? Have you noticed that question? They ask the entrepreneur, have you been taking a salary? That salary goes out as expense from the business, but it goes in as income for the entrepreneur, which means for the sharks and for the dragons, that is an expense, but for the entrepreneur, it is an income. For the business, it is an expense. All right, so that is one way of taking money out of the business. The next is when you can make a separate profit sharing arrangement apart from your equity. You make a separate profit sharing arrangement with, like, you could hold only 20% of the shares, 20% of the equity, but you could draw 25% of the profits as an entrepreneur. So in such cases, you don't take your salary out of this. So most investors, they would want you to work on an incentive basis. When you take a percentage of the profit, they would want you to take a percentage of the profit, because only then you would work so hard to say. Otherwise, it is 100% their money, 90% their equity, isn't it? Angel investors put 100% of the money, but only get 90% of the equity or 80% of the equity. So if they put 100% of the money, then shouldn't they get 100% of the profit?
Yes.
But they don't get 100% of the profit. They take 80% or less than 80% of the profit. So all these depend on, the main question is, how important are you as the owner of the idea for the operations in that business? If they can take you out of the business and put anybody to run the business, then there is no, then you are not eligible for, you are going to demand for a smaller percentage of the equity, right? Because if anybody can do the job and you are demanding 100% of the money from the angel investor, and you are only giving them 80% of the shares, they would say, okay, why would I put you to run this business at 20% equity, when I can bring in somebody for a salary and run this at 100% of my own equity. Right. So when you go to a venture capitalist or an angel investor, your intention is to come up with the best idea, or the most unique idea, or an idea in which you can add more value in terms of operations, in terms of business proposition, rather than just money. Okay, so that's how. Oops, okay, Miko is in the waiting room. Hi, Miko. Sorry, I did not notice you in the waiting room. Have you been waiting for long? Okay, he didn't hear me. Hi, Nico.
Hey,
Hi there.
Hi. Have you been waiting for long? I'm sorry, I did not notice you in the waiting room.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see who else is joining. All right. Okay. You had messaged also. I did not notice that. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
We were discussing something. I'm sure you can catch up with it on the. We were discussing about angel investors and limited partnerships. So I'm sure you can when I post the video finally, you can catch up with what we left out in the beginning.
No problem.
Okay. Nico, you want to give us a background of what you are, what you do, and all of that? I mean, your background in this game,
Yeah.
how long you've been in the game, and etc. etc.
Yeah, no problem. I actually just started playing the game about a week or 2 weeks ago. And I just found it from the book I was reading that my friend gave me. So everything was just really a coincidence of me playing the game and then joining an open game there and then being invited on my first game. So
Right.
yeah. And right now for me, my background is I've only started on network marketing a month ago. So
Mhm.
that's how I came upon the book of where my friend gave it to me.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
Which
I'm
book
not
was that?
sorry.
Which book was that?
It was the Rich Dad Poor Dad, the first book, I think. Oh wait, I
Okay.
forgot the whole
Okay.
title.
That is the first book.
Yeah, the very first book of Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's what they gave me.
Have you completed anything more after that?
No,
Have you
not yet. I'm kind of busy because I have a lot going on, like work at Burger King, and then I'm also doing my network marketing thing.
Okay. Are you studying something also alongside?
No, I have no plans for college right now,
Okay.
but maybe next year when the COVID situation goes down a bit more.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Network marketing in itself is a good college. It's a good
Yes.
education. All right. Santosh, you want to share a little bit about your background and your experience with
Yes,
the
sir.
game?
Sir, I am from India. In before 2 years, I am planning to start a business. But when I think about that, my parents are not accept that I have to be a businessman. They told that I have to be a government job. But I think to start a business. Then when I talked with my friend about the business ideas, then he told me about the book of Rich Dad Poor Dad. Then he gave me that book to read. Then I will start the book to read. And when I read that book, really, I am very. This is very impressive to every reader who want to be a businessman, who want to be entrepreneur.
So your dad
It's
gave you the book.
what?
Your dad gave you the book, Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Hey, no, my friend.
Your friend. Okay. All right.
Yes, he gave me that book for study, but he did not read it.
Hmm.
He did not read it, but he gave me to read this book. But when I read it, this is very. I, I am not very good in English,
That's.
so
I think you were very impressed with the book. My
yes.
question is, have you read anything more after that? Did you
For
stop?
that, I try to start, but the COVID situation is very high in our area. From my just 200 meter far, 22 COVID patients are now admitted. So that I just locked down in our house. So that I did not start, but I try to start write blogs and Optux. So there are new app in India that called Optux. उसमें Optux इसमें in this app we can buy, share and sell this.
Okay.
So I will try this.
Right. Okay. Just give me a second. I just need to increase the AC a little bit. Sorry, I was burning. Okay. All right. So good. Okay. Ezra is an old friend. He has been attending meetings for the last, I think, all the meetings, Ezra. You've been there. I think just one that you missed, right?
I missed the first and the third meeting.
First and third day. Okay. But Ezra has been attending meetings regularly, so he is quite updated on how we take this forward. Okay, so now what we will do is we will go into a game. We will just log into your cash flow, I mean your Rich Dad account. So we will go into a game and we will start playing the game, and along the game, whatever happens, we will try and make some sense out of it. Okay. Right, so I'm going to start sharing my screen. Okay, how we do is every turn, if each one who's taking a turn, they will share their screen, and we will look at what the deal is about. Santosh, you are on a mobile.
Yes, I have on mobile.
Will you be able to play the game on the mobile?
Yes, yes, no problem.
Okay,
I will able to.
fine, fine. Okay, all right. Okay, I'm going to create a game called Cash Flow, and I'm not putting a password so that we will be able to, that's 4 of us, so I'll make a space for 4 people. And as soon as, if you have all joined, if you have all logged in, then I will create the game, because we don't want people from outside to join the game. And if I put the password, if you are for any reason, if you are kicked out of the game, then you will not be able to join back. All right, so it's very important. As soon as I create the game, you all jump into the game. Ready to do that? All right, here we go.
Yes, yes.
That's good. Excellent. Well, that's all right. Okay, I should change my name also. I will put my name as Bijo. That should help. Okay. All right. So I'm a truck driver. Now you can see my profile. It's only 2,500 in salary. And if you look at my financial statement, I have 750 in cash, and my balance after all expenses, my balance on a payday is $880 only. All right. So very low, right? It's a very simple profile.
It's very low.
Yes.
It's very low.
All right. Okay. So now let me pick a dream. I always pick this dream because that's the last one. When you go, when you run the whole circle, it's the last one. Okay. Roll, donate. Okay. Here, there is no specific thing about charity donations, but Kiyosaki always recommends to do charity, to donate. For me, in the game, okay, I'm not talking about real life. In the game, I always donate if I have a positive payday and I have enough cash. But in real life, most of the time I donate whenever I have a chance, because when you do charity, my observation is that you get to speak to a lot of people. Your circle expands. A lot more people start communicating with you. A lot more people start interacting with you. So if that happens, then you have a better chance of creating a larger market for yourself, a larger audience for yourself, a larger number of people would actually be connected, and your network would expand. So here I will just donate and end. I will stop my screen share here. Miko, can you start sharing your screen? You are the next person in line. Excellent. Can you zoom zoom in your page also a little bit?
How is that?
Just your regular browser, if you can zoom it. I think if you press Control and scroll your mouse, it should zoom. Yes, excellent. That's good. So we will not use the chat box in the game. So you can, if you obstruct it, it's fine.
My favorite game is this.
Okay. All right. So roll. Okay. This is fine.
Yeah.
Okay. These are regular
I'm-
expenses, so there is nothing to talk about it. And we'll go to Santosh. Santosh, can you share your screen?
Yes, sir. It's no problem.
All right.
Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm. All right. Zoom a little bit also. Okay. All right. Okay. So you are a doctor. So that means a big
I will
salary.
choose this.
Okay. Okay. It's again expenses. Finish off. Okay. Okay. Can you stop sharing screen? All right. Ezra. There you go. Excellent. Airline pilot. Okay. Ezra and Santosh are having. Okay. I forgot to ask. Forgot to notice. Miko, what is your profile? What is your? Who are you in the game?
I'm a police officer.
Police officer. Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
that's $3,000 in salary, which is also quite low. Good. Okay. So we have a good balance here. Santosh and Ezra have really high salaries, and Miko and me have low salaries. Good. We'll see how it works. Okay. All right. No use having a great salary, Ezra. Nothing, nothing in your pocket.
Just $400.
Yes. Okay. All right. So, okay. Whenever I have I pay charity in my rat race, I always do 2 dice. All right. And we go for a big deal. All right. Good. Nice. Automated business for sale. Now, this is a repetition of the previous meeting, but automated, the word, you have to look very carefully at the description of the of the card, of the deal that you're getting. It says automated business for sale. Now, the word automated actually indicates that there is a great deal of independence for the business. The business does not require your attention too much, which means it is running on itself. Automated means it is running on itself. Automated business for sale. Now, okay, now let's look at it. That means there is a system in place. There is some kind of fixed, everything, most of the things over there is fixed, and there is a system in place. So there is no need for constant supervision, which means it is cost savings, right? Automated businesses are supposed to save cost for us. Okay, automated business for sale. There is a personal bankruptcy sale of busy, successful laundromat. A personal bankruptcy. A personal bank, that means the business is not doing bad, but the owner is personally bankrupt, which means he has no cash. right? In the game, if you have been bankrupt in the game, if you notice, you go bankrupt not when you have a negative payday. You go bankrupt when your cash is not sufficient to cover your payday. Correct? Now think of it in the same way about this owner. This owner has a personal bankruptcy problem. The personal bankruptcy means as a person, he is losing money and he does not have cash. Now, what do you do in the game when you have a bankruptcy? You try to sell your assets, correct?
Yes, we try to sell our assets.
Okay, so you try to sell your assets and you try to generate some cash. Here, the owner of the laundromat is doing the same thing. He is trying to sell his assets and generate some cash. Absentee owner contract cleaning. Now, contract cleaning talks about the kind of business that they are doing. Contract cleaning generally means a contract means something for long term, which means you don't need to sell. Sales is a big cost, isn't it? Every time an organization has to make a sale, the organization or the business has to spend some money or time or resources in making that sale happen. Now, since you already have contracts here, it means that you don't have to spend any money for sales or any resources for sales. You don't have to worry about resources that you have to spend for sales. Sales is already done, taken care of. Only that the owner is missing because he is personally bankrupt. He probably has to go into hiding or something. So, okay, now look at the cost. The cost is 150,000 and your down payment is 30,000. Now, what is your percentage down payment? How much percentage of 150 is 30,000? Okay, now the first important thing about these meetings or even playing the game is that you have to have a calculator, you have to have a pen and a paper with you all the time. Because only if you work on these figures, it will make your decision-making capability improve. Now, if you don't improve your decision-making capability, if you're only here to figure out which are the good deals, it will never work. Because the good deals in one situation is not the good deal in the next situation. Sometimes you don't want to sell even though you're getting a lot of money. Sometimes you sell even though you're getting very less money. Now, all this depends on your decision-making ability. So if you want to have that decision-making ability, you have to have your tools with you. All right, okay. Another thing is this meeting is going to end in another 6 minutes, 7 minutes. So when this meeting ends, you rejoin the same meeting. You don't stop the game. This is a 40-minute session for the one. You just rejoin with the same user ID and password, the same meeting ID and passcode. You just rejoin the game, okay?
Okay.
All right, don't close the game. All right, so 30,000 out of 150,000. It is actually 20% in down payment. And how did you get that? 30,000 divided by 150,000, the whole times 100. So that will give you 20%, exactly 20%.
Yes.
All right. And when you look at the cash flow is 2,500 for a down payment of 30,000. So if you have a down payment of 30,000 and your cash flow is 2,500 on that, how is your ROI? What is your percentage returns? 2,500 divided by 30,000, again times 100. And I reckon that will be about 8%.
Yes, 8.3% ROI.
8.8%?
8.3.
8.3. Okay, all right. So that's how you calculate your whether the business is actually making money or not. Now, this is the first deal that we are doing today. So it's a little, it's not so easy to see the returns percentage on the other deals, but 8.3 is kind of one of the best deals that you can get in this in the game. In the previous meeting, Ezra, we calculated up to 7.2, right?
Yes.
Yes.
It's the telephone business, I guess.
Telephone business. Yes, I think it is a coin-operated telephone business, and we calculated 7.2 on that one. Now this one is even better. It is giving an 8.3% returns on your down payment.
Yes.
All right. So all these figures, so for Miko and Santosh, all these figures are a part of the market research that you do. How did we say, okay, 8.2 is a good return? How did we say 7.2 is a good return? How did we say 5% is okay? We will go ahead with the, we will make a decision. It is because we analyze several deals within the game. Okay, now the game is our market. So we analyze several deals in our market, and we come to a conclusion that yes, this profitability is acceptable, or this rate of return is acceptable. Now, without market research, any of this doesn't work. Without market research, it would be very difficult to say if an automated business with a personal bankruptcy, a laundromat business would be a good business or a bad business, whether 8.3 would be a good return or a bad return. As an investor, you could demand anything. As an investor, I can say, I will not invest if I don't get 10%. I need 10% returns. But is it actually going to happen? Does the market have any deals which can give me a 10% return? Or what is the highest return that I can make? All this depends on how good your market research is. Now, where I have analyzed all the deals in this game, which is why I can confidently say this is a very good return. But you are not able to say that, or as you know, if you've just joined the game, you are not able to say that because you haven't seen all the you haven't seen or you haven't analyzed all the deals in the market or in the game, right? So in real life, market research is so important, so very important, because it gives you the understanding of what you can expect in the market. If you want to make a deal, if you want to do a deal, if you want to understand the deal, you cannot do it without market research. Now, in some of the previous sessions and some of the previous videos, we have said it takes about 20 years of analysis. If we look back at the data for 20 years, then we get a good idea of how the market responds to each deal. Okay, so in real estate or in some particular businesses, in some particular products, if you look at the history of the product, if you look at the history of the sector, then you will know whether the product is going through an up cycle or a down cycle. Because economic, okay, there's less than 1 minute left. So I will buy this. Okay, we will no. I will leave this deal here. We will analyze this deal further with in terms of loans and cash flow when we come back after the break. Now the meeting is going to go off. You just come back, join with the same ID and password. All right, so we are all back here, and okay. All right, so I need a down payment of $30,000. I don't have $30,000. I have only $1,000. Now, out of the $1,000, before my payday goes to zero, I can borrow another $8,000. All right. So if I borrow, if you can see, if you look at my payday, it's 880. So if I borrow $8,000, my payday will go down to $80. Let's assume I borrow $9,000. My payday will go to minus $20. Minus $20, that's so 9,000 plus I have 1,000 in cash. So I had $10,000 with me in cash before I go to negative. But I need $30,000. So if I borrow $29,000, because I have to borrow $29,000 if I have to make this down payment. If I borrow $29,000, my payday is going to go to, I will have to pay 2,900 or 2,900 as my towards my loan every payday. So 2,900, but I have a cash flow here of 2,500. 2,900 minus and 2,500 plus. So that's 400 minus. So minus 400. And that is what exactly I would add to my payday. So minus 400 to the payday of plus 880. So I would be at minus 480 after I complete the deal. Right, Ezra? Yes. Okay. All right. So I'm still in positive payday, even if I borrow for 30,000 or 29,000, even if I borrow. Let's try this out. 2,900 in payment, monthly payment of 2,900. So I buy the deal, and there goes my financial statement. Okay, 2,500 in passive income. Look at that, 2,500 in passive income. Now, what is the best passive income you can get from any deal in the small deals? Santosh, Miko, Ezra already answered in the last meeting. That's why I'm not asking him. You guys have been playing the small deals, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what is the best passive income you have got or cash flow you have got from a small deal? You remember?
Yes, condo. Or
okay. Anything, Miko? Okay, can't hear you.
I think there's $100 of passive income in the small deals.
Okay, the best small deal passive income is 500, if I remember correctly. It's been a long time since I played any of the small deals, so I don't remember exactly, but I don't think you can make anything more than 500 from the small deals. Okay, that's the best. That is the maximum you can make out of a small deal in terms of passive income. Now, if you look at this one deal, passive income 2,500, which means one deal in the big deal has given me the equivalent passive income of at least 5 deals in the small deals. If I have to, okay, now look at it again. If I have to do 5 small deals, I have to roll 5 times. If I roll 5 times, the possibility of crossing over a payday, crossing over the doodads, crossing over additional expenses, crossing over downsize, all these possibilities are very high, correct? So every time I roll, I can either land on an expense, or I can land on a doodad, or I can land on downsize. All of these possibilities are there. Instead, what I have done is, in one single deal, I have created passive income equivalent to at least 5 rolls. At least 5 rolls, 5 good rolls in the small deal category. So this is saving your time, saving your effort, saving you from risk, and saving you from actually pushing you to a level which is faster than other people who are in the rat race. This is giving you a better chance to move out of the rat race, right? But you need to know what you are doing. Right, let's move on. I will end this here. And
My game is quitted automatically. They are not showing the game.
come again. Sorry, I didn't.
I am quitted from the game, but now I can play the game. There are I am not I. Automatically quitted.
You quitted from the game. Okay, I will send you the link. You can rejoin the game.
Yes, it's automatically quitted. So
Okay, 1 second. Hold on. Here you go. Paste and send. Okay, there in the chat, I have sent you the link. You can rejoin the game. All right, Miko, I'm going to stop the screen share and you can start the screen share.
Hey.
Right. Okay. Wait. Okay. Let's see. Let's look at this deal now. It says Duplay for sale. A Duplay, you know what a Duplay is, right? It's 2 housing units joined together with one single wall in between them. That's a Duplay. Right. So a Duplay for sale, the tenants in place at this investment Duplay. Right. So which means there is no cost of sale. You already have tenants over there, which means you don't need to try and sell, which means you don't need to try and you don't face the expense for a sale. All right. And your cash flow, Duplay is actually 2 units. So if you look at your cost, 45,000 divided by 2, that gives you 22,500. 22,500. That's your. Did Santosh just leave? I think Santosh is disconnected. All right. So 22 and a half in terms of cost. Cash flow is 320. 320 from 2 units. 320 from 2 units means 160 from 160 from 1 unit each. Let's look at the you're in the waiting room. Okay, Santosh is in the waiting room. Let's see. I can't see you. Okay, guys, hold on a second. I'm trying to admit Santosh. He says he's in the waiting room. Okay, all right. I saw him.
It's just a network problem, so that is quitted automatically. Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. Okay, no problem. Okay, so where are we? We are okay. So we have your down payment is $8,000. Now, what is your percentage down payment? How do you look at it?
Down pay divided by cost multiplied by 100.
100, exactly. Did you get that, Miko? That should be 8,000 by 45. That's less
Send
than
me the,
8%.
please send me the link once again. Hello, Lijo.
Yes.
Please send me the link once again. Oh, up game.
Did you find it in the chat?
Put it so that I can find.
Use the link in the chat, Santosh.
They are not showing because I am putting from the video chat, so it's
Okay.
cannot show.
All right. I'm going to paste it again for you. There you go.
I also pasted it in WhatsApp.
I saw that one.
Yes, it is there. Yes.
Okay. All right. Did you join?
Thank you.
Okay. All right. No problem. All right. Miko, did you get the? Did you figure out how we got the 8 point something percentage of down payment in the not 8 point? It's 17 point, right? 17, 16, 17, something like that. Less than 20%. 8,000 divided by
17.8.
sorry, Ezra.
17.8%.
17.8%. So okay, let's say 18%. That's an 18% down payment. If you notice, this is less than the 20% down payment that we had on the previous deal. Previous deal, we had 20% down payment. This is better for the down payment because it is only asking for 18%. Now, here we have to talk about the concept of buying in profit. Okay, how do you buy in profit? Kiyosaki always says his rich dad told him, buy in profit. How do you say, I have bought this asset in profit? What do you think? Any ideas?
You get more money when you buy it.
You get more money when you buy it. No, when you buy, you pay money, not get money. All right, I'm going to explain this. Sometimes you go to the supermarket and you, or any shop for that matter, you go to purchase something and you say, oh, I got a good deal, right? There was a good deal and I took it. Why do you say so?
Because it's on sale.
Not just because it's on sale. You your feeling, how is your feeling? You
Happy.
think it is, yes, you are happy because you got a good deal. How did you get a good deal? Because you think the the item is worth, the price of the item is more, but they gave it to you on a discount, so you saved some money, so you feel happy, which means you feel that you paid less than you actually should be paying. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes. So when you get that feeling, you say, okay, this was a good deal. Now here again, we are dealing. We are making deals. And when you're making deals, you are looking at how can I make a good deal out of this? If you do your market research, again, I have to point you back to the market research. If you do your market research, you see your Duplay can sell at up to $40,000. One unit can sell up to $40,000. You are getting it at 22 and a half. Now, do you see why it's a good deal? It could be valued up to $40,000. Now you have to think of the concept of valuation. Valuation, what is the difference between valuation and price? What is the difference between valuation and cost? Okay, three things here. Valuation, all right. So that's number one is valuation. Number two is cost. Number three is price. Actually, Ezra, in our last meeting, we never discussed price. We only
Just the valuation and cost.
Yes, we only discussed valuation and cost. Right. So there is value, there is price, and there is cost. Now, what is value? What is price? What is cost? When you build something, when you make something, when you create something, your expense, your total expense to create it is called your cost. Okay. So your cost is the final bill when it comes to final invoice, when it comes to creating something. So you create something at a cost. Now, price. Price is what price you are selling it for right now. Right now, this Duplay is priced at 45,000. That is the cost of the deal, but it is your price. You are buying at a price of 45,000. So that is the current asking value of the deal. Now there is valuation. Now that's the third part, valuation. Valuation is when you consider the worth of the asset at a particular value. Now the valuation for a Plex unit, in this market or in this game. Okay, when I say market, it means this game, or when I say game, it also means the market. So the valuation of the Plex unit in this market is up to 40,000, which means it can fetch you a price of up to 40,000. Although the current price is 22,500, it can fetch you a price of 40,000. So what you are actually buying at 22.5 is something which has a valuation of 40,000, which means you are buying at a much lower rate, or you are buying at a discounted rate, and that discount is making you happy because you have saved $17,500 on one unit. So your savings of $17,500 is your profit. So you buy in profit. Now the other way of looking at it is that when you sell this unit at 40,000, you can actually make 17,500 on each unit. So which means if it's a duplex, then you make $35,000 on one unit, on this property, on this asset. So your $35,000 becomes your capital gains. Now what is capital gains? The difference between your buying value and the higher selling value is called capital gains, right? Capital gains is what you make in a trade. So when you do a trade, you get capital gains, right? So this is actually a good deal, isn't it, Miko? What do you feel?
I feel like I want to take the deal.
You want to take the deal, but you don't have $8,000.
No.
All right. So tell us how you're going to do the deal.
Well, I'm gonna have to take a loan of $8,000,
Right?
and that would give me an additional expense of $800.
Yes.
So, oh wait, yeah, I don't think that's a good deal for me,
Why is that?
because if I have to take a loan of $8,000, that would mean I have to pay $800. But the cash flow this one's giving me is only $320, so I'm making a loss if I buy this deal.
Okay. So you feel you're not buying in profit?
I don't think so.
Okay. Now, all this while I was explaining the concept of buying in profit. I did not mention cash flow at all, did I?
No.
No. So what you are buying is not for cash flow.
Okay.
What you are buying is for capital gains, right? You can do two kinds of deals in the game, even in life. Even in life or in the game, you can do two kinds of deals. The first one is when you make capital gains. In fact, in the first half of your game, you need capital gains. You need cash. You need cash to do better, bigger deals. You need cash to pay off your loans. You need cash so you can be in control of the game, of your game. Okay, you can be in control of your game, where you can actually decide when you want to go out of the rat race, when you want to purchase something, when you want to sell something. You can do all this only if you have control, and that control comes with cash. Cash is one of the most important parts of that control if you want to control the game. And if you have to do that, then you have to focus on capital gains.
Okay, so this would be a good capital gains deal for me.
This would be a good capital gains deal for you. On the other hand, in the second half of the game, you want to increase your passive income, which means you have to look at the cash flow. Now, this again in life, you do the same thing. You have to trade until you get enough cash to invest. Now, when you're making capital gains, you are actually doing a trade, because only trade gives you capital gains, right? So you are doing a trade and you want to collect cash. You collect cash, you invest that cash into cash flow assets. That's how it works. All right. So if you focus at capital gains, good. This is a good deal, right? Now look at it from capital gains and give us your tell us how you feel about the deal again.
Since you've said that it's a duplex, so I, it's so half the price of it is like 22,500, and one of each would can go up to 40,000.
Right.
So yeah, if we're looking at that perspective, it is really a good capital deal.
Right. Okay. Now look at what it is going to do to your financial statement, because reading your financial statement is very important when you have to make a decision on any deal. All right. So tell us how it is going to affect your financial statement.
Wait, I think so. 8,000 gives me 800 in extra expenses, and then minus 320. So I would be negative 480. I mean, I would add another 480 to my expenses if I take this deal.
Correct. Which means your payday is going to go down, but it is not going to go negative.
No, it's not.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
640. Your expenses have gone up. Your passive income has gone up to 320. All right, end the deal, and we can go move to Santosh. Okay, Santosh, can you zoom a little bit? Okay. Where did you go? Where did you land?
I'm landing.
Payday? Okay, payday. So, okay, nothing much to discuss. Let's move to the next one. Okay, end your screen share. I think next turn is for Ezra. Okay, Ezra, good. Now 20 acres land. This is a very big question. Will I make money or not? Right? Ezra, what do you feel?
Based on my market research, this 20 acres land will give me once I sold this, it will give me $200,000, but it does not generate any cash flow.
It doesn't
So
generate any cash flow.
so and also based on the market card, it is only once will show up.
Correct.
So that will be only 1%.
Yes.
1% every game to show up. So if I would if I would like to take a risk and get this will be a great loss for me, because I will get a negative 2,000 payday, but it does not generate any cash flow, and also the capital gain will come up once in a blue moon.
Okay.
So I guess this deal is not a good deal.
Okay. All right. So let's look at the text. Let's look at the description of the deal. Okay. So it says 20 acres for sale. 20 acres of vacant land currently zoned residential. Now, okay, the most important words is currently zoned residential. Now, if you look at you compare residential property to commercial property, the value of commercial property is generally higher than the value of commercial property. True? Okay, so we are getting ready to the last 10 minutes of this session. Anyway, so the value of commercial property is generally higher than the value of residential property. So right now, this is residential property. So which means it should be valued lower. Possibility of good appreciation if rezoned commercial. So that is the value, that the value has gone up 10 times if rezoned commercial. Now the question is it worth taking the risk in the game or not? Okay, even in real life, unless you can, I don't know, unless it is a distress sale or something like that, I don't know, the deal, this deal could probably give a lot of risk in real life as well. But the point is, right now you have a possibility of going in for 200,000 in your market card, because number one, the market card has not appeared yet. It appears once in a game. So if it appears once in a game, if you compare it with real market, it is like a rare chance. A rare chance of, let's say, if you look at it in a real market sense, let's assume you have this 20 acres of land that is available for a deal, and you try to you try to make the deal, expecting that you will be able to rezone the property. You can be in real life, if you are well connected, for example, if you are well connected with the local authorities, if you can get some support from the local government bodies that you are able to rezone this one, then it could make sense in real life. That's what I feel. That this is purely my opinion. I don't, any of you could differ with me about this. But I feel if I'm connected to the town planning department or something like that, and then I can get this 20 acres of land rezoned with a little effort, with a little investment, with probably the right gifts going to the right people. So with all of that, I could probably get this rezoned into a commercial property, and I could make this. This is a real life situation. I could possibly get this done. If I don't, then it will still hold the value of 20,000. It will not go down in value because it's a residential property, and it says the possibility of good appreciation. The possibility of good appreciation means that there is less possibility of depreciation, which means by the trends, you should know for sure that it is a downtrend and it is at the bottom of the trend. That if there is a possibility of even not rezoning it, you will still be able to sell it as the 20 acres of residential property, but maybe making a small margin on that, a small capital gain on that. Now here, if you want to buy it, you buy it. I generally, if it is in the game, if it is early in the game, I normally buy it, because for two reasons. I always like my cash flow, my payday to go to negative as soon as possible, because then I'm not playing based on my salary. I'm play or my payday. I'm playing based on my leverage. So to move my game into the leverage, so I to put more pressure on myself, I normally go ahead and buy this. But if you don't want to buy it, it's fine. I would suggest you buy it, because then we can start playing in negative, or we can go to negative faster,
Okay, okay,
right?
okay. So we can discuss about more on leverage things, right?
Okay. Right. Okay. Now I'm going to share my screen, but the meeting is going to end quite soon. We'll see anyway. Okay. I'm going to look at my financial statement before I roll the dice. This is something that I do as a practice. I check my payday. Am I in negative or am I in positive? Here I'm in positive, so I have nothing more to do. I'm going to roll twice. Big deal. Okay. Now, value proposition. Look at this. The cost is 80,000 for a 4-play unit. Now, that means 4 units, 80,000. The cost has come down to the lowest possible cost, which is $20,000 per unit. Look at the description. Project 4-plex for sale in rehabilitating neighborhood, which means the neighborhood is under renovation. It is changing. It is in transition. It is becoming better, probably. Okay. So there is a possibility of appreciation. There is a possibility of improvement. But right now, the owner is being forced out by income tax liens. He is having income tax problems, which means he is getting in trouble with the law. So he has to generate cash. He is trying to sell, and but look at it. He is but asking for a down payment of 20,000 for a property which is costing 80,000. He is asking for a down payment of 20,000, which works out to be what percentage? It's 25%, right? 20,000 of 80,000 out of 80,000 is 25% of 80,000. So now you can see the down payment is the highest among all the deals that we have seen so far. This is 25,000 at 25%, and 25% is the highest. And look at the cash flow. It's only 400 for 4 units, which means only about $100 per unit. However, the cost is really 80,000. 80,000 means the unit cost is only 20,000 compared to a valuation of 40,000. If it is a valuation of 40,000 and the cost of 20,000, my buying price is 20,000. That means I have a valuation which is twice as much, 100% of my price. Correct? Right. Great deal for capital gains. No cash flow, or literally zero cash flow, but a great deal for only thing is the down payment that they're asking for is a little higher than expected. And the moment I take a loan for this one, I will immediately go to a negative payday because I'm only my payday is only 480. My cash flow is only 400, but my monthly installment for repayment of the loan is going to be 2000 negative, which means I am in a hole of 1600 when I do this deal. 1600. Okay, let's wait for Santosh to join. I think he's okay. Okay, Pawan is joining us. Wow. Santosh. Okay. Hi, Pawan. Welcome to the meeting.
Welcome.
Pawan, can you hear us?
Yes.
Oh, no, Pawan.
Yeah, I
Pawan,
can
Pawan,
hear you. I can hear you.
All right, okay. All right, we already started the game, so you will not be able to join us in the game, but you will be able to see the screen of everybody who's playing, okay?
Okay, okay,
All right, excellent. Anything that you want to ask, you can ask in between.
okay.
All
Got you.
right. Okay, Santosh, you don't have trouble with the game now, right?
Yes. Yeah, I can come. Wait. I am coming.
Okay. I'm gonna get some lights on.
Yes, I am here.
All right. Okay. Thank you. All right. So let's continue. Okay. So if I go with this down payment, that is 20,000 in loan because I have less than $1,000 in my cash. 20,000 in loans. If I go for 20,000 loans, that means 2,000 in payment. 400 cash flow. So just from the deal, I'm going to go with minus $1,600 in my cash flow. Now, plus I have a 480 in payday. So I'm going to add. Okay, Santosh, I'm going to mute you. Just unmute when you want to speak. Okay. So okay, so I have 480 in my payday, which means I have minus 1,600 and 480. That means 1,120 remaining. So my payday should be minus 1,120 when I finish this deal, right? So everybody is clear why, even though I am going to minus 1,120 in my payday, I'm going with this deal because it's a good deal.
Yes.
Yes.
You will get a great capital gains once you sold the
Yes.
property.
I'm buying in profit, which means it's a good deal, and I will take a good deal anytime. It doesn't matter if I have the money or not. I can borrow and I can take a good deal. Any good deal, when it comes, I can pick it up. So there we go, 2,000 in loans, and I'm buying the property. So my financial statement says my passive income has gone up to 2,900 and my payday has gone to minus 1,120. Right now, here comes the difficult part. Now, will I survive another payday if I roll another time? I'm not going to survive another payday because my payday is minus 1,120, which means I have to inject cash. That's what it's called. I have to inject cash. Now, if I have to inject cash, I need to have that cash. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like I have that cash because I have only 860, which will cover only about 75% of my payday. I need to generate another 25%, which means there is only one way to generate that cash in the short run. Okay. Now, in the short run means from here to the next payday, from wherever I am in the game. Where am I in the game? Which rat race am I in? Okay, I'm right here. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I roll a 5, I'm going to land on a payday. All right, from where I am, if I roll a 5, I'm going to land on the next payday, which means I need to be prepared to pay the expenses on that payday, which means I need to borrow. Now I'm going to borrow, and it has added another 100 to my payday, but my cash is more than my payday. Okay, that's good so far. So I can manage one session, one payday. I can manage that. Now, where did I get this money, this 1,000? Where did I borrow it from? This is the question. What do you think?
From the lender.
From a lender, yes. Miko, what do you think? Where did I borrow the 1,000?
The bank.
Okay. Santosh, Pawan, what do you think?
I think from credit.
From where?
From credit card.
Credit card. Okay, all right, good. Credit card is another form of bank. So we will say, yes, bank or credit card, it's the same option. All right, Pawan, what do you think? Pawan, you there? Pawan. Okay, all right. Pawan doesn't think anything. Right, okay. So normally when you think of it, the first option that comes to our mind is the bank or a credit card. If it is a small value, it's a credit card. It could be a credit card, and it could be about short-term loans. So it could be a credit card. Now, it can also be like how we discussed in the beginning of this meeting, can also be from angel investors. It can also be from family and friends. It's just borrowed money. It doesn't say from where you borrowed it. Right? The game, if you look at it, it just says loans must be taken in multiples of thousand at 10% interest per month. Does it say it is from the bank? Of course not. It doesn't say it's from the bank. There is no rule that you can only borrow from the bank. You can borrow, Ezra said, you borrow from the lenders. There are money lenders. You can borrow from money lenders. You could borrow from the bank. You could borrow from your credit card. You could borrow from your mortgage, which means you could mortgage anything. You could mortgage your car. You could mortgage your house. You could go to a pawn shop. You could go to a pawn shop and you could pawn your gold, and you can generate money. So it is about borrowing. It's not about where you borrowed from. All right. So that's the concept. I borrowed and I filled up. I can borrow from my investors. I can borrow from some of my partners. So I borrowed and I generated the cash. I just generated the funds. All right. So let's go to the next. Okay, stop share. Miko. Excellent. All right. Okay. This is exactly what we discussed in the beginning of this meeting. We spoke about limited partnerships. We spoke about angel investors. We spoke about how when we invest into a limited partnership, we have to pay the full amount upfront. We don't get an opportunity to do a down payment. It is not the down payment, it is the full amount. See, the down payment is the full amount.
Full amount.
Full amount. See? And it generates a cash flow of $1,000 for every $25,000 that you invest, which means it is generating 4% return on investment for your down payment. All right?
Yep.
Just 4% returns. Now, in the game, I would buy this. Especially in the early stages of the game, I would buy this. In real life, it depends on a number of things. And to understand what are the things that it depends upon, that's why I recommend everyone to go and watch some of these shows, the Dragon's Den or Shark Tank, all of these kind of shows. They will tell you exactly what to look for in an investment into a limited partnership. If you want to invest into a limited partnership, what should you evaluate the business based on? That is exactly what they will tell you when you look at when you watch these shows. Okay, so I think as a homework, as an assignment, everybody should watch these shows. Whenever you have time, just go to YouTube, hit the Dragon's Den or hit Shark Tank on YouTube, and you can watch these shows. And they, after a few episodes, the more episodes that you watch, the better you would feel about understanding what an investor is going to look at, understanding what an investor is going to be carefully evaluating in you, in your business environment, to make sure that his money is safe and he is making the right investment that can grow and develop into a full-fledged business. All right, so on this meeting, I'm not going to discuss too much about that. Excellent. All right, just 1 second, guys. Okay, yes. Quickly. There are people waiting, okay? Oh, that's very good. Nice. Okay. Thank you. I'll see you later, okay? Okay. Can you close the door as well?
This is the thing that's
Okay. I'll see that after this, okay? All right. Thank you. All right. Sorry, guys. That was my little son. He's 7.
Did you have a question? What do you mean by early in the game? Early by having a positive cash flow, or even though you have a negative cash flow, but I mean payday.
Okay. All right. Look at the game as a fixed number of rolls that you would do. All right. So it takes about 1 hour for a good game to finish. Right? It takes about 1 hour. We have each of us, we have done only about 3 rolls until now, or 4 rolls, right? Which means in this 1 hour, you will roll at least maybe say, I don't know, 25, 30 times more, I think. More, right? So if you are in your 3rd or 4th roll, you are still in the early side of the game. Let's look at it as a developing market. Right? You have just opened your market, you're developing a market, you are waiting for the opportunities to come back on your market. That way, by the time you are at your 30th roll, you should be able to, okay, even if you buy something, you want to evaluate it, whether it will be worthwhile. You are paying your finance cost with every payday. Now, after 30 rolls, you remember last time, okay, you were not part of that meeting. You did not attend that meeting when Ersin and me, we were discussing this one. Now, if you, let me discuss that when we come to one of those cards. Just remind me, okay? Okay, so for now, I will just say early in the game is when you just started rolling, you have only rolled something like 5 times, 6 times, maybe even 10 times in the game. And you have many more rolls remaining for you. All right. Then I would go and early in the game, I will purchase my limited partnerships. Or in the game, if I already have some limited partnerships that I already purchased in the early side of the game, and towards the second half of the game, if I get some limited partnerships, I will still continue to buy them. I think you should buy it, Miko. If you buy it now, okay, wait. Before you go, evaluate it for us. What is it going to do?
It's first I would need to get a loan to afford it.
Yes. So that would be a
And
loan of
2,500. Oh, I mean the loan would be 24,000, and I would have to add another 2,400 to my expenses, so that would put me in a negative payday.
All right. Look at it. You have a cash flow of 1,000. You ignored it completely.
Oh, right. Yeah, if I get a cash flow 1,000, I would still be in the negative,
Yes.
but just right around maybe two, what, Wait, let me use the calculator.
Yes.
So 2,400 in expenses minus 1,000 and then minus 640. That would put me into negative 760.
Negative 760. All right.
Yeah. So
That would be negative 1,400 and positive 640. So 1,400. So that would be 1,400 minus 640. How much is that? 400, 640. That's
760.
760. All right. Okay. So that will be your payday in the end of the by the end of the deal. Minus 760 would be your payday.
Yeah.
Let's see that.
That's what? Sorry?
Let's go ahead and see it.
Okay.
Okay, buy 2,400. All right. Let's look at the financial statement. Precise, huh? 760
Yep.
in payday. Now look at your cash. Will you survive the next payday?
No.
No. So you have to take action.
Yeah.
Right. So this is how you do it. You have to take action.
So I borrow $1,000 to
Yes.
get me through payday.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see your financial statement again before you close. Right. Now you have cash.
Yeah.
1,000 and your payday is minus 860. So which means you will survive one more payday. And now you know exactly where you can get this cash from. It is not the bank. It does not have to be the bank. It does not have to be the credit card. It does not have to be the creditors. It can be from anywhere. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's go. And screen share. And who plays next? Santosh. Okay. Santosh, can you share the screen, please?
Lijo, I have a question
Sure.
regarding on the net borrowing stuff.
Okay.
Because we know that not all of the lenders
Santosh, hold
are
on for a second, please. Ezra speaking. Okay.
not all those lenders or banks or even your partners won't let you borrow, right? They need some collaterals.
Correct. Yes.
Right? So even if you have a invested on some kind of business, can you provide it as one of the collaterals, or you know?
Okay. That depends on your documentation. Your question, I understand. You already have some assets, but you want to have some. You want to borrow some more. Can I make my assets my collateral?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if your assets are already pledged, if you look at the deals that you're doing here, you are only making a down payment. Correct? You are making a down payment to own the asset. You did not pay the full amount. When you did not pay the full amount, you don't own the asset. You don't control the asset anymore. Or you don't control the asset yet. Right? Because you have not paid the major portion of the asset cost. Isn't it? So until you pay off the full amount of the cost, you don't have a choice. You cannot use it as collateral with anybody else because it is already a collateral with the financier of the deal. Whoever financed the deal for you and who asked and who said, okay, here you can make a down payment of so much, and you can start enjoying the cash flow from the asset, which means you still haven't paid the remaining amount of the this is how it works in the real life. And here you never pay off the liability on that until you sell it. So which is a simplified version. So don't exactly go by it. But the point is that if you have paid your full amount, then you can use this as the collateral if you own it 100%. But when you're only making a down payment, you don't own it 100%. You only own 25% of it, and the rest of it is held by the mortgage lender. So it is under mortgage all the time. Right? But in real life, there are different things that you can work out. You can actually ask the mortgage lender itself to use this property as collateral and loan you more money. So that is also possible, but that's I don't know if it is possible everywhere, or I don't know if it is possible. I don't think it is possible in when the market gets tough. When the market is high, you get a lot of benefits which you don't get when the market goes low. If it is crashing, then the lenders are also very cautious. So normally they would demand at least at least 150% of the loan amount to be covered by your collateral. So they need 150. They need a collateral which is worth 150% of your loan amount in real life. If that is the case, then oops, sorry. If that is the case, then you cannot you cannot expect that kind of a deal to happen in real life, right? Okay, let's. Santosh, you got kicked out of the game again. All right, okay.
Thank you.
Santosh, can you roll? What is happening?
My turn was gone.
Okay, all right.
It's too late, so it's quitted automatically and my turn is gone.
Okay, all right. Santosh taking turn, Ezra taking turn. I think it's Ezra, what do you see on your screen? All right. It's still waiting for you. It doesn't show you the buttons yet. Zoom meeting.
Congratulations to me. I have a baby.
Okay. Ben entered. Okay, wow. Ben is here.
Another question, Lijo.
Yes.
What if you have no collaterals to begin with, but you wanted to invest? Do you need to build your credit score first
Okay.
while enhancing some high income skills? Right.
That's a good question. A lot of people have the same question. How if I don't have any money of my own and I don't have any collateral of my own, how do I start my investment, right? So sometimes, very rarely, if you look at your market, you can see zero down payment deals. Even in the game, you have one or two of those deals where you have zero down payment. I think it happens in the small deals. It comes in the small deals. I've seen those deals, but I don't remember exactly. So if I don't remember, that means they are in the small deals.
Yes, it is the small deals.
It is the small deals, right? So in the small deals, you have some of them where you have to pay zero down payment to make the deal. And in some of his books, Kiyosaki himself, he mentions that there are some of these deals where you have to pay only, you don't have to pay anything for your down payment, but you get to enjoy the cash flow from the asset anyway. All right. So those are when you have zero down payment and you have your cash flow on an asset, it is actually infinite returns on your down payment because you haven't paid anything and you divide your cash flow by your down pay, it is infinity. All right. So those are great deals. Those do happen. Okay. We have only 10 more minutes, but those kind of deals do happen. That's number one. Number two, there are always opportunities where you don't need collateral. Let's say if you want to borrow money, if you wanted to borrow money, who would you think of? The first, where would you go?
My mom.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. I mean, there are we all have sources where we can leverage our relationship with a person, leverage our relationship with leverage our credibility, our personal credibility with and take a loan. You can go to friends, you can go to family, you can go to cousins, you could go to sometimes you can go to a crowdfunding platform. You can go to some investor, angel investor, zero collateral, 100%, 90% of the business, 10% of the 10% equity for you, 90% equity for them, 100% investment from them. So all this can happen. All this can happen. But the most important thing is to, number one, make the decision to do the deal. How do you make the decision to do the deal? You have to decide to do the deal by analyzing the deal and making sure that it is worth making the effort to do the deal. You have to make sure that you are able to contain the risk or control the risk of the deal. A nice view, man, Ben. Yes. Okay. So you have to make sure that you are able to control the risk. Now, control is everything. Even if you look at your lenders, your creditors, people who give you money, the first thing they will look at is whether you are in control of the situation or you have lost control of the situation. Before you ask for money, you have to make sure that you have control of the situation. If you don't have control of the situation, nobody is going to trust you with the money. All right. So get in control of the situation, and then we will be able to convince the other person to make a loan, or we will be able to convince the other person to lend you money. So instead of zero down payment, if you work on 100% borrowed capital, it works the same way as zero down payment. Right? It's all the same. Zero down payment, no collateral loan, 100% leverage, all of these situations, it all depends. It all works out to be the same case, except that it has to work on the basis that you are able to control the opportunity. That is the most important part. Kiyosaki repeatedly says you have to control, you have to have control on your situation. If you don't have control over your opportunity, then there is no benefit, there is no value addition from your side. You are you are part of the flow, not controlling the flow. You are not in control of the situation. So if you are not in control of the situation, then it is very difficult for you to convince another person, because you yourself will not be able to convince yourself that there is a real opportunity that you can uh, take advantage of. All right. So where are we in the game? Is this our third session or is this our second session? So we are running out of time. This is almost 5 minutes to end this meeting. Let me see. Okay, we started at 4,
Okay.
at 6. Okay,
Okay,
okay.
okay, I have to leave now.
Okay, yes, because we are ending the session in another 5 minutes. This meeting is going to close in another 5 minutes. We already this is our third Zoom session, so I think that's what we want to discipline ourselves with, right? We could continue for on and on, but as a rule, we will keep the discipline of the meetings.
Yes.
All right, guys. Miko, do you want to give feedback on what you felt? This is your first meeting. Anything that you would like to improve? Anything that you would like to change?
So far, everything's great. I mean, I've learned a lot, and everyone's very what's the word? Friendly. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, you guys didn't mind me being 19 around you guys, so I'm happy with that.
All right. No, the way I look at it, you have a better chance at making it faster out of the rat race than oldies like me.
Yes,
Okay. Right.
thank you.
Great. You're welcome. You're welcome. Santosh,
Yes,
what do you feel?
yes, it's really good. I like all you are very friendly and it's too good for me. I learn so much about the business and the cash flow in this session, and it's really I love to meet all of you. It's your every word and everything you told us is the reality of the business and the cash flow. So I learned so much, and thank you to all, and thank
No,
you also. You.
no worries. But if you want any change in how it happens and any improvement or any additional stuff that you would like to see, your opinion will help us improve the whole meeting for everybody. All right, so that's the reason why I'm asking. You can message me also on the one. You can on the club. You can share your thoughts, because when you do that, others would also be encouraged to start an active an active learning of the game and of the real markets. Plus, if there is any improvement, then we will be able to make it together on these meetings, right? Ben, very nice of you to join even from the park. It's fun. How's the little
Yeah,
guy?
I'm trying my best, man. Join. I want to learn all the time, man. So I join when I can.
Hi,
Hi.
hi. Could I have your name?
Right here.
Lucy, go ahead. My name is Silon.
My name is Silong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's big.
Oh, hi.
Little Kenna.
How are you?
It's so cute.
Okay,
Good.
nice to meet you.
Nice to you.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. All right, guys, proper goodbye. So, because this meeting is ending in another less than 1 minute, so which means I think we've got about another 30. Okay, bye bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you
Bye
for
bye.
Bye bye.
Nice to
Bye-bye.
have you. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye, guys. Thanks for your time.
Peace.
Thank you. Can we go?
Okay, there we go.
Papa.